If you can hear me and see a little bit of me, that's you. That's all you need to have. I have the proper thing for doing the headrests for the videos, but this is a bit impromptu because I don't know what I thought. I think the car was going to get sold and left there, but as I said, the chap that was interested in it, seat heaters work fine, by the way. My tail end is getting nicely warmed as we speak. The chap that was interested in it, I think, is coming from a 2-year-old car and is now looking at a 20-year-old car, and it's very hard to make those comparisons because, you know, it won't compare. You know, unless it's been a showroom prepared, mollycoddled car, it won't prepare. We haven't prepared this. I mean, it hasn't even been cleaned. Certainly not properly. I said to him, I cleaned the glass, which is the truth. I cleaned the glass, and I've done a crap job of that. But back to the car. For me, the thing is mechanics. And this thing is lovely. It's just with a bloody big cat's eye. 201 brake horsepower, rear wheel drive, automatic. One of the best gearboxes in the business, the Jaguar. It's got sports function as well. Which changes the rev pattern of the car altogether, so it just makes it a wee bit keener. But look, this is a cruiser, not a bruiser. It's the smallest petrol engine I believe they'd done in the S type at the time, and it's more than enough. 200 horsepower. I mean, I go around most days in 150 brake horsepower automatic diesel with my family, and the recovery truck we use has 99 brake horsepower. I mean, I love stuff with massive horsepower, don't get me wrong, fantastic, I do appreciate it, but do you need it every day? No. Seat heater's fine. I'm turning it off because it's now cooking me. It's 2 settings, by the way, and obviously 2 front seats have it. Cruise control, I had it on the way down, and there's it on again, and it's working lovely. The multi-function steering wheel makes it literally just off your finger, so my thumb's working that and doing the job, and everything else is, you know, it's there to hand. Obviously the radio, there's Bluetooth, let's say, so I don't believe there is Bluetooth. I think it's mute. It's saying mute on there in the radio, so I don't believe that there's Bluetooth set up, but you can change the band of the radio. Obviously there's the CD player there as well, the head unit, and the air conditioning. Let's put that on, see how cold we can get that. Yeah, let's see. Because it's one of those days, it's saying 11 degrees, but it's one of those days where I really want to get froze, you know. Typical thing with the headlining, the fabric is loose. There are so many solutions, starting to get cold, so many solutions for these. Pins is the cheapest and quickest. Is it the best? No, the best is getting somebody to do it. There's no sunroof, so this would be probably one of the cheapest ones that you could get done. And it would be, I would say, between £300 and £400 if that was your decision to do that. But it's like everything else, the wheels are a little bit curved, so you pay to get them refurbished. There's a mark on that door and a mark on that door and a mark, you know, you could go nuts. That's starting to get colder. You could go nuts with everything if you wished and make it perfect. But you lose then the point of this being a cheap entry into classic car ownership. So that's cool. It's not ice cold yet. See if that makes any difference, not having that recirculation on. And the thing about it is, ultimately you want to buy a car, if you're buying something like this, that you can enjoy. You're in here, when you get out to stop and get an ice cream or whatever, then you're looking at it. So you do want to have something pretty. And this car is pretty. It's a lovely thing to look at. Is it perfect? No. That's cold enough. It's a £2,000 motor. It's 20 years old. That is cold enough. On a hot day, I'd be happy with that. Now I'm shivering. I'm being honest, I'm shivering. So I'm going to leave it for another 20 seconds and then I'm turning it up because I am shivering with it. So it's cold enough. But everything into perspective here, folks. We're looking at a car that is 1,000 and something to buy, under £2,000. Yeah, that's cold enough. Sorry, folks. I'm absolutely froze. I'll turn this up. Back to the 22 or 23 it was at. That's good enough. I wouldn't be disappointed buying this car. Drives lovely. Gets down the road nice. There's no bangs and clunks. Brakes work when you put your foot in them. Accelerator works when you put your foot on it. Kickdown works when you want. Cruise control works when you want. It's got space comfortably for 4 adults. It's got a boot that's big enough to go on holidays with. The spur and the tools are in the boot, no problem. They're all there. It's reasonably clean. It's not perfect. That's where you come on board, because as everybody keeps telling me, the one thing people with classic cars do is clean them. I have a couple and mine have got plastic over them, hopefully still. I'm trying to have stayed out of the rain, hopefully, in the building, as long as the building wasn't leaking. Not our main building, but another one. I don't get a chance to clean mine, but if I had one car and I was enjoying it most days or most weekends, yeah, it would be spotless. I would be sorting out the things myself. The chappie that I've just been to, who was lovely by the way, and that's his thing. He wants the car right, but as I pointed out to him, he's comparing it with a new car effectively. His car has 15,000 miles on it. It's 2 years old, and he likes things to be just so, and there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of people do. But it's like, if you want cheap and you want good looking, sometimes cheap and good looking don't work together. If you want a sorted car throughout, you have to pay for it, so you don't get the cheap element to it. There has to be a compromise somewhere, and as I said, for me, mechanically, this is spot on. It's MOT'd through to the end of March next year, 2024. Temperature gauge hasn't moved above halfway. It's lovely, and it's a sweet little entry into modern classic ownership. So I wouldn't be disappointed actually driving this every day. And we've a couple of cars like this that have sort of come in that are not rough and ready, but they're sort of come in, they need MOT'd and they need a couple of things sorted on them just to be nice. This doesn't, but they do, and they've got lovely big engines, and you think to yourself, my goodness, that just needs done. I could just float around in that. The wafting mobile, the smoker, you know, it's, I think we all sort of aspire to that. None of us aspire to manual gearboxes unless it's like a 5-litre Bullet Mustang or a Cobra, or you know, something really with a bit of meat on it. But don't aspire to 800cc Chevrolet Matizes or anything like that. We want something with a wee bit of guts to it, and having this type of car, I'm 45, people my age, men, women my age, all like having something about their cars. So a little bit of horsepower. It's petrol. I'm pretty sure it's ULEZ as well, exempt. Now don't quote me on that, we'll have to check that, but you can check off the reg easy enough online. Lovely little Mini there. Oh, God bless us, excuse me, I'm yawning. But it's, if I turn this down so you can actually hear me, it's a cracking car and it's quiet. There's the fan blowing away, stop blowing, it's quiet. I have a nice armrest here under my arm that adjusts backwards and forwards. The steering wheel is electric adjustment telescopically, and up and down, reach and rake, as they said, reach and rake. Perfect. Auto headlights, pretty sure there's auto wipers there if I was going to figure them out. I can have my radio on.
I'm an English professor.
There you go, radio 2, spot on. It's all I listen to properly anyway. And I've nothing really else to say. Just enjoy the journey home with me here back to the office. Auto dim, one of these jobbies. It's auto dim, auto dip, or whatever you call it. Rear view mirror. It's just a sweet thing. And you know, I stopped and I put some fuel in it there at Morrison's on the way back, and it runs on standard unleaded. You need to put super into it. No issues with the engine, no pinking, no nothing like that. It seems to be just driving absolutely fine. And I looked at the car from the queue and went, you know, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. As I said, it's not perfect, but I think coming from a perspective of someone who sees these cars, sees the best examples, sees the worst examples, this is a fairly good average to clean car. And as I said, trade money. And I'd be happy enough to smoke around this here. It's not too shabby. I would personally, what I would do, I'm looking at the two wing mirrors here. That wing mirror has blade, it has that what do you call it, thing in the glass, again anti-dim, and it doesn't last. That one is dimmed permanently. This one's like a half dim. I would replace the glass in them. You can buy them new off eBay, even copies. Get it stuck over the top of it, it would look fine. I would get somebody with a machine polisher if I didn't have one myself, and I would go around the bit on that door I would polish. There's a dent on it that a dent man would take out there, and two places in that door. Not heavy. We'll look at it when we get stopped. There's a bit of bubbling around the petrol cap because it's been painted at some stage, and I would say that's just reacted with a little bit of water. That could be flatted and painted, and obviously then on that door there's another Mark II, and it was pointed around the back bumper, the loading bay of the same thing. So I would do that and I would pin the roof. And do you know what? I would bloody enjoy a cheap modern classic. I really would. I would be out driving it. I would have the cruise control on. I mean, here's me, Mr. Cruise Control, and I'm actually sitting here with my foot on the accelerator because I'm actually enjoying the fact that this is a spirited drive. I'm doing 60 miles an hour, honestly, officer. And it's a spirited drive on a nice road heading up to Hemswell. That's what this is all about. The sewing machine cars that we have every day that do the school runs and do the shopping and do the hospital trips and all the rest of that, they're there, they will always be there. Thank God to have something that's boring and reliable, but you know what? If I didn't have a big budget for something sporty or something luxurious, this is spot on. I'm getting into what I view as one of the better shapes of Jaguar because it's like the genuine McCoy. You know, as the years went on, they changed into that shape. Now it's like a bulbulous thing, and it's not, to me, it's not proper Jag. This S-Type gives memories of the Mark II, and that was what obviously it was about as well, the original S-Type. Some people love it and some people loathe it and think it's a poor relation, but so what? A poor relation? As I said, give me a luxury car for under $2,000 that you can jump into, that starts on the key, that has remote locking, by the way, one key but remote locking, has alloy wheels, has metallic paint, full leather with electric seats, has cruise control, multifunction steering wheel, working climate control, a full stereo system, a big boot, the practicality to be able to jump into it. It's tax efficient. I'm pretty sure it'll be the lower tax, so 315. I have to check, but anything around this age is I think it's pre-2006, is the lower tax, and it's unleaded and potentially ULEZ exempt. Bloody hell, folks. And a lovely big seat too, that you have a bum warmer on for the front two seats. And it's quiet. Apart from that little creak under my arm from the armrest or where I'm resting in now. Happy days. Nearly back. And it pulls up nice under braking. without it being in sport, and we're at 60 there with a half foot and a throttle. That's brill. That's brill. And that's probably as much as it's ever going to get. Previous owner had it since 2012. Pretty sure. I'll have to check that. Either 2012 or 2014. And there were 4 previous in total, I believe. I'll have to check that too. Don't quote me. It's in the advert, but there's that many cars. I'm struggling to remember the different things that I need to remember. So it was clearly something that was cared for and loved, and they weren't quick to get rid of it, and I love that. I love to see that. Long ownership's always a good sign. Sometimes it can be cars can be transient for lots of reasons, particularly stuff that people buy for seasonal to go. We'll have a little convertible for the summer. Folks know that. Folks know that they change hands nearly every spring, every summer. But these sorts of cars sometimes can, if people take on something too much, or take on too much of a project, or it's too expensive to run, they can find themselves buying a cheap car but selling it quickly because it doesn't work out for them. So long ownership's a good thing. And here we are back at the office. Look, the car's 1900, I think £1,990 it's up at. It's certainly one that I would have with my own money. Oh, there we go. And let's see, I was still recording. Is my mug still going? Hey, we are. Do the gates. I'm gonna open this up. I don't want to lock it too much because it's got 1 key. I think that's okay, isn't it? Headlights were a bit foggy, so they've been polished up a little bit. It's got a Northern Irish stateless plate on it. Nice wheels. That's the mark that the chap was mentioning there, I think, that bothered him most. You know, I'm not denying that it's there. It is. But I mean, it's not as if it's got a thump on the side of it and it's like wrecked. Rear parking sensors. Oh, didn't notice them. Twin rear exhausts. Listen, it's a hell of a car for the money. There's the little bits of bubble on the side there. It's just reacted a little bit. And there's obviously been a bit of paint here. It needs, you know, cleaned, flatted and polished. Yeah, rear parking sensors, no front ones. Clean, flatted and polished. Every car will benefit from that. I'll stop this now because I've been jabbering for a bit. Oh, what's this here? And it needs that clipped in. Obviously a bit of a video here just showing the interior, and we'll do the exterior again so that you're seeing it. You can see there, a little bit of where you put some cream on it and that'll just clear that, but it's not ripped, it's not holed. Steering wheel's the same, it needs a clean. The memory function's actually in the seat. There you go. So it's actually got 2 memory functions. That's actually quite clever. Electric mirrors, 4 electric windows. Not being used. Yep, the headlining, pin it up, pin it up, pin it up.